Of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for Tuesday, January the 18th. First on our agenda is to adopt the agenda. I have a few additions for you. On the consent agenda, I would like to ask you to add under HR at number 7, accept a retirement in the Oxford Fire Department. Ask you to add at 11A, permission to apply for a Mississippi Heritage Hills grant to request funds for restoration of Cedar Oaks windows. And at 12A, would ask you to add special event permit consideration for Destination Oxford Car Show on May 21st. Are there any other changes by any department head?
No, ma'am.
All right, then with those changes, I would ask you to adopt the agenda.
Move we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Taylor is with us online tonight, and all other aldermen are present. You probably can't see them if you were watching on camera because we are spread out again and they are sitting down at tables. Just a few quick things to report. I made a trip to Jackson last week to start meeting with our legislators to request funding for the coming bond bill. Those will be conversations that go on for the next 3 months, and we are hopeful that, that Oxford will be considered again. The designated pickup locations that you've heard us talk about for the past few months will begin tomorrow at 9:00 p.m. There are 3 locations around town, behind City Grocery, behind Boo Ray, by the parking garage, and down by Harrison's. Look for the new signage and the green curbs. It should really help out when you're needing a ride home. The site went live today where you can order 4 free home COVID tests. You go to tests is plural.gov, and you can have 4 free COVID tests sent to your home. So I would encourage everyone to get on there now and order those 4 free tests. Also want you to know that our testing site, the drive-through site that's at the Oxford Conference Center, remains open. They are providing 200 to 300 free drive-through tests a day. You can make appointments online. I looked at it this morning and there were plenty of appointments left for tomorrow and Wednesday. Usually on Tuesday or Wednesday they open up the appointments for Thursday and Friday. Those may be available by now, but there are lots of appointments available. Please utilize that free testing rather than going to the hospital emergency room. We really encourage you to use this. I've been getting tested every week. It is quick. You quickly drive through. They email you your results in about 10 or 15 minutes, and then about 3 days later you get the results of the PCR test. So it is quick and easy. Make your appointments and go do that. All right, that's it for the mayor's report. I would ask you to authorize the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on January the 4th.
Motion to approve the corrected minutes from January 4.
Yes, I have one error that I'm going to correct.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll ask you to authorize the approval of accounts for all city departments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I ask you to consider the consent agenda with the addition of accept a retirement in the Oxford Fire Department.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Discussing where we are COVID-wise, just ask Jimmy to come up and give us just a quick update on numbers.
Okay, for today, and you gotta realize this is over a 4-day period since we had the holiday weekend and everything. The state had 22,456 new cases with 17 deaths. Locally, over the 4-day period, we went up 460 cases, which averages to about 115 cases a day. But that is actually a decrease from last week. We were averaging over 200 cases a day last week. So we're seeing better numbers here in the past couple of days and everything, and no new deaths today.
Today there are 57 patients that are in the hospital due to COVID. 7 of those are in ICU. I confirmed with Bill Henning this afternoon that the percentages remain the same. Over 70% of those at Baptist Hospital North Mississippi are from outside of Lafayette County. As of now, 87% of those who have been admitted with COVID are unvaccinated, and they are still doing elective procedures at the hospital. And so, you know, last time, once the hospital got into a dire situation, that was the first thing that they that they eliminated were elective procedures, and I confirmed with him this late afternoon that they are still doing elective procedures at the hospital. Does anybody have any questions or comments? All right, thank you very much, Jimmy. We will invite Aaron Smith up to give us an update on Lafayette County CASA. Sure.
There you go.
Welcome.
Thank you. Just want to give this is my first quarterly update since we received funding from the city. Again, thank y'all for supporting the program. There are currently, as of January 1, there are 3,849 children in CPS custody in the state of Mississippi. We have 85 children in custody in the Lafayette-Oxford area. That's an increase from 60 children in 2021 and 45 in 2020. There are 40 cases that we currently have right now. That's an increase from 32 cases in 2021 and 25 in 2020. Unfortunately, those numbers are going up, but I do believe that a lot of that has to do with the awareness that CASA is bringing to the community about abuse and neglect. And on the fortunate side of that, we're able to serve 100% of the children that are in foster care right now in the community. We have 42 active volunteers, 10 to start training in February, 38 are assigned to cases, and 3 are on leave for personal health reasons, or they're just taking a break. So the current expenditures with the Board of Aldermen funds, we've spent $975 in tutoring for 3 teens. We have spent $540 for drug screens, that's for children and parents. We've spent $562.86 for emergency clothing and basic needs for a sibling set of 4. We spent $1,137.50 for tutoring for another 3 teens, emergency clothing for 1 child in the amount of $112.06, and then another $700 in drug screens for children and parents. The other line item that I had requested funding for were background checks. At this point, we've spent $245 for the 5 background checks that we've had to date since funding. So that's a total of $4,272.42 that we have used the city's money for. So,
Well, we thank you very much for the report, but we also thank you very much for all of the amazing work that you're doing in this community and for the kids' lives that you're saving and for giving them a little hope. So thank you,
well,
Aaron.
we appreciate it. We couldn't do it without y'all's help, so
Well,
thanks.
we're glad we can help. Thank you. All right, request permission to submit the 2022-2023 $5,311 grant application to MDOT for the OU Transit Department. Mr. Pringle?
No, it's out of town, so I'm standing in for it.
All righty, well, we're glad to have you. We appreciate you coming.
Great, great. Like you said, I'm here to ask permission to submit the 5311 grant to MDOT. I think everybody has a copy.
We do.
I move we allow.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you, Mr. Pringle.
Thank you.
Consider a request from Green Construction to barricade the sidewalk at 1217 East Jackson Avenue from January the 19th through the 28th for repairs to a balcony. You all will notice that this is kind of retroactive. They wanted to get this done before the students are back and before we have crowds. The repair work that's being done is that's required to get the balcony up to standards, and so I allowed them to go ahead and get started and ask you all to approve it retroactively. All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Request approval of a final plat amendment for case 2822 Highland Court, Oxford for Magnolia Park Subdivision Lot 5 for property located at 1801 West Jackson Avenue and being further identified as PPIN 18640. Ben?
Yeah, the Magnolia Park subdivision, it includes the AT&T store, the Max South building, Your Extra Closet. I think there's another building next to Your Extra Closet. It has the seeker storage units that are along Anderson Road, and then the Highland Court subdivision. And so of importance here is the seeker storage, and then the developed shopping center that's there right now. That was all part of Lot 5. And so this amendment basically creates Lot 5 as being the seeker storage along Anderson Road. Lot 6 becomes the shopping center, and then Lot 7 is a very small piece that they're carving out, which is an undeveloped portion that was previously approved for a building. So it's a fairly simple modification to the subdivision. We have not received any objections to it. The only thing worth noting here is that the stormwater infrastructure was based upon the building size that was previously approved. We're requiring that to be maintained. You see that the Planning Commission did approve this with several conditions of approval, and we believe that those have been satisfied, conditions 1, 2, and 3, and then you see condition 4 is no more than 4,800, roughly 4,800 square feet can be built.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
At 11A, is Kate coming up to handle this one? Permission to apply for a Mississippi Heritage Hills grant to request funds for restoration for Cedar Oaks windows.
Right, so some of the windows at Cedar Oaks are in rough shape, and I became aware this morning that the grant cycle for Mississippi Heritage Hills is open currently. So I'd like to get permission to apply, and hopefully it would be a 50-50 matching grant, so we could do the work at, they would pay for half the cost if we received the grant. We have received money from them before, so I'm hopeful that that would work out. And obviously, if we are awarded the grant, I'll be here asking you to accept it, so we'll have more details at that time.
All right.
There's not a time frame for how long we have to, if we get the grant, how long we have to maintain the property is.
Or keep the property.
No, I'll definitely check for that in the contract.
Okay.
Yeah, and you guys will see the contract before we accept it.
Okay.
If we're,
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Thanks.
Thank you, Kate, for seeking out ways for us to pay for things. All right, Mark Levy, request permission to advertise for bids for the demolition of the old RSVP building. Yay!
Yeah. Tonight, I'm seeking permission to advertise for the demolition of the RSVP building. We are working through the details of the part with the engineers and requesting to demolish the building in a separate contract from construction. We previously received permission to demolish the building from the Courthouse Square Preservation Committee. We have also received an asbestos report and a structural engineer report, neither of which showed any issues with demolishing the building. If approved tonight, our schedule is to advertise in late January and bring the bids back for your consideration in early March. It will include protective erosion control measures, and there will be contract language which will include provisions to protect the pedestrians and the parking spaces during the busy times.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. And Chief, special event request for Destination Oxford Car Show on May 21st.
Yes, ma'am. We're looking to secure North Lamar from Lindsay's all the way to the point right there by Yaya's, and then also on Monroe. Probably start towing around 4. Car show would then kick off that early that morning, stop at 2, and then we'll do a load out from 2 to 3.
So the spaces would be back open for people to come back and park to go to dinner.
Move we approve.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you to Jason Plunk for planning that event and bringing a group to Oxford. We appreciate it. All right, I would ask the board to consider an executive session.
So moved.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? The board will now consider an executive session.